Hello everyone, it's Al Nygren, Executive Director and Curator of the New Jersey International Film Festival, back with the second of our filmmaker interviews to promote the 2016 New Jersey International. We have today a very, very special short filmmaker, Alvaro Congosto.
Very good.
And he's the director of a wonderful film called The Suitor, which is set during Orson Welles' very notorious radio broadcast where he redoes H.G. Wells' War of the Worlds. And this is a film that has a romance that's set during the broadcast. That's correct?
That's right, yeah.
So tell us a little bit about how this film came to be.
Well, I mean, I actually read the script. I didn't write the film, but it's one of those things that you read and you're like, I want this to be on screen. So I'm like, I'm going to put together this production. What I like about the story is like it's set up during this night at Orson Welles. We all know about people panicking on the streets, broadcast of War of the Worlds, people thinking Mars aliens are coming. But actually, there was the main character of the movie is having a great time thanks to this event, which I'm not gonna explain why. I hope people can come and watch it. But what I liked about it was that twist, that it was not like another panic story. It was a story more about someone having a great time during this nightmare.
And the thing about that I mentioned to you before is, you know, the set is just absolutely wonderful. You know, when you see a movie, sometimes it looks like a TV movie. It's too clean. You know, the lead character is in an apartment complex, I guess, and you know, you see dirty dishes in the sink and the whole kind of kitchen setup. Everything comes together really nicely. And then I thought it was a real place, and then you told me you built it from scratch, which is that
That's
true?
right, yeah. Well, we built the apartment from scratch. The hallway, we rented a place that was like an old building.
Right.
It's supposed to be set up on a tenement apartment building in New York City.
Right.
And we actually shot it in a film studio in Boston. Main reason for that, having control, having to be able to take care of all those details to actually be able to make it look right, yeah.
Tell us a little bit about the two actors who are also quite wonderful. They're kind of nameless. We don't really know who they are. Is that correct?
Well, that's right. I mean, the Bates Wilder, the main lead, he's known in Boston area. He actually got a little role in Joy, latest David O. Russell film. And yeah, she's a theater actress mostly. I'm good friends with the main casting agency there up in Boston. And Bates Wilder was actually my professor when I was taking acting classes.
I see.
And I think he's a great actor, and I think he was great for this role. And you know, it's sometimes better to work with nameless people that are actually willing to put all they have in their roles and characters.
But what was the spark that made this film happen? Why choose this particular moment?
I myself am a big Orson Welles fan, and this was kind of like as I said, like I read a lot of scripts. I'm constantly looking for stories, and it's very hard. They're usually tedious. You read a script, and I'm like 10 pages in, you're like, I'm bored. With this movie, I read it, I'm like, wow, I would love to see this on screen. So it was more like an instant thing. It's like, I love this story, why not making it?
Yeah, and the screenwriter came up with the title, The Suitor. Why that title?
Actually, that's not correct. I came up with the title. The original title was 1938, which I thought it was a little more open and vague. I wanted to make it more about his intentions, and I thought suitor was a word that could put the audience in a past tense because it's a word that we don't use that often anymore.
Right.
And it's also a word that I thought it depicted the intentions of the character in a nice way.
So it's basically about a guy who's looking for love. And there's a gal that's across the hall.
That's correct.
We're not really sure what she is either, because there's a guy that she's, you know, having some kind of affair with when he first kind of meets her or sees her. But then he has designs on her as well. And because of the panic instilled by the broadcast, he finds a way to get access to her. Is that?
Yeah, that's basically right. This is just a lonely guy interested in a woman across the door, and uses the broadcast as an excuse to have a moment with her.
And besides you recreating 1938 in this studio, I think the cinematography also really does a wonderful job capturing that. And you know, you're not really sure if you're watching this. I mean, the broadcast was in the evening.
That's right.
But there's some sunlight that kind of peers in through the space to give it a sense of late evening, early evening.
the story starts during the day, and we get to the broadcast halfway through the story. So that part is set up at night, as it was an evening event, as you mentioned. But the beginning of the story is during that day, that morning.
Right. So there's a lot of Aristotle in your film. You know, the kind of poetics where a unity of time, place, and action, everything taking place within a tight framework in the same space. And yet, you know, it's so much more than that. It's not a theatrical piece. It's a very cinematic piece.
Thank you.
And you know, we enjoyed watching your film very much. And I never knew that somebody would have a potato for breakfast.
That's funny. Yeah, our main character has that.
Yeah,
unfortunately.
so folks, you'll have to come and check out this wonderful film, which is the opening film on the last screening of the festival, which will be on Saturday, June 18th. Alvaro will be there as well to do a Q&A, as many of the filmmakers will be there. It's a really wonderful opportunity to interact with filmmakers. Many audience members who have come to our screenings and who have kind of hobnobbed with the directors have ended up working as production assistants or in other capacities in other films. So our film festival is very grassroots. It's also a kind of networking event for potential filmmakers. So come and check us out. You can get more information at our website, which is njfilmfest.com, and I hope you'll come and join us then. Thanks so much for coming.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.